Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this very important video about the real estate market in Los Cabos, Mexico for July of 2024. Today, I wanted to do something a little bit fun. I wanted to have my colleague, who is also very knowledgeable about the market. Her name is Denise Paredes, and she is such a help for me in my career, and I just adore her. So I thought it'd be fun to have her be on the video with us today and talk a little bit about the real estate market and her insights. She's been in Cabo for a long time, and she has a lot of really good insight into the market. And so I know so many of you really like the statistics and you like to know what's happening in Cabo. It's really important because you can hear all sorts of things, but until you really look at the numbers, that's what tells you the accurate picture. And so I love, as a nerd, I love to share these numbers with you, and Denise is also very good at that. So the main thing that I want to make sure that everybody understands is that our numbers are based on the MLS, BCS, statistics. And so in Cabo, not everybody puts their properties on the MLS.
That's right.
So like some of the really very high-end neighborhoods that, sell 20 and 30 million dollar properties.
They will do in-house sales, and that cannot give us any statistic or not a hard number, but we can figure it out.
Yeah. So like, for example, the Cabo Corridor.
Oh, yeah.
The numbers say that the average price of a house is, a little bit lower, but that's where some of the really high-end neighborhoods are, but they don't report the numbers. So I just want to explain that to you. So all of our data that we're going to share with you today are based on the MLS, BCS, and these are numbers that were pulled this month. And they are mostly comparing June of this year to June of last year. So it kind of gives us a snapshot as to what is happening over the past year in the Los Cabos market. So I'm going to start by talking a little bit about Cabo San Lucas. Now, remember, I told you in the past that the Baja California Sur is a long, skinny peninsula. And so starting on the western side, we start with the Pacific side, and then we move down the peninsula to Cabo San Lucas. That is where the cruise ships come in, most of the tourists go. It has a completely different vibe than the Pacific side, and has a completely different vibe than San Jose, than East Cape. So all of these little communities have a completely different vibe than one another. So I'm going to start with Cabo because it is the most well-known, and give you some statistics and some numbers about what's going on in Cabo right now. And then I'm going to ask Denise, if you don't mind, to share with us a little bit about, we'll move back up the peninsula into the
Pacific side. And then go up
and
to
then
the
we'll go to the East Cape. So I'm going to start by talking about Cabo Homes. The price of a house in Cabo jumped dramatically. This time last year, in June of last year, the average price of a home in Cabo was $250,000. This year, the average price of a home is $1 million. That is a
massive
increase. Yes. It's crazy. And I think a lot of that might be because of some new construction in the Pedregal area.
Yes, Pedregal and the Sal. It's an average of a lower price that you may expect, but
they are building some bigger homes back there. Yeah. So I thought that was really quite an interesting thing. The other thing that I thought was really kind of interesting was that the sold to list ratio last June was a lot higher than it is now. It's way down. It's down like 24% to 89%. So that tells me you can maybe get a deal on the Cabo home right now. So basically, the sold to list ratio is just telling us that whatever the person is asking for, they're on average getting about 89% of the asking price. So that's kind of a good deal.
And do you think that this is because they're doing resales or pre-construction?
Yeah, I think these are resales for this particular metric. And I think that What is happening is that the past few years we've had such a high real estate market and people's prices continue to escalate. And so a lot of people were maybe overpricing their home just to see what they would get. And all of a sudden they're realizing, oh, I'm getting these lower offers. And so they're having to take
you have a very good point there. I think that the sellers are getting a really high price on their properties, or there were listing prices that were not as we usually know, like they were 2 or 3 years before. So they're now getting into negotiations to get the price.
I think you're right. You know, typically if it is a pre-construction, typically there's not a lot of wiggle room. On the asking price. So for there to be that much of a wiggle room, I think there are existing homes that were maybe a little bit overpriced, and they're kind of getting more realistic in their price. Now, the interesting thing is in condos, the sold to list ratio is 99.9%.
Oh,
so that's the new construction, I think, because again, when somebody's building a condo and you go in and you purchase a condo, you don't have a lot of wiggle room. Like you pay what they're
and it usually is the lower price that you can get that property of.
Yeah.
So you're getting basically the best price possible when it's in pre-construction, because it's before it's even been built. So you're getting a risk on investing in that, but you get a very good price.
Yeah. And you mentioned El Tizal a minute ago. The average sales price of condos is up from $461,000 to $783,000. So the purchase price for condos is even going up. It's up about 70% from this time last year.
It's really going up.
Cabo is still moving and shaking.
Yes.
What's happening in the Pacific side?
So I think it's very good investment. In the Pacific, we have seen a new wave of resales and new construction. We have the area of Kivira, which is amazing development. They have like little neighborhoods for all the prices. So basically we can see a lot of reconstruction there, but you can see also amenities and neighborhoods like the Ritz-Carlton. So you can get really, really high-end prices. And if you go a little bit more to the Pacific, you have the area of Todos Santos and Cerritos, which is a very, very popular scene to be right now.
I think Cerritos is booming.
It's really booming. It's getting out there, and they're translating into really nice small communities. A lot of people is paying attention to that.
And what are some of the numbers for that area statistically?
Properties in average are around the $1 million.
Most of those are like close to the ocean. Like you can still get really nice views for $1 million.
Close to the ocean, really big lots that you can still get there. And the sold to ratio has been really steady for the whole year.
Why do you think people are so attracted to the Todos Santos area? Because I know there's a lot of attention on it right now.
It's a lot of attention, and you probably don't know, but it's called a magic town, and it brought a lot of artists in town, like galleries and music scene and theater, and we have a very nice community there. I really love how the whole community is getting together to do food events together and bring people from all Mexico to know Todos Santos.
How easy is it to get to the airport from Todos Santos?
Oh, it's pretty easy. It's right in the middle from La Paz, Baja California Sur to Cabo. So if you want to get to the airport, and it's right in the middle, it's around 1 hour drive
to either airport.
So it's pretty easy to get there.
I heard somebody the other day was saying that a lot of musicians who moved to Todos Santos are kind of getting together and they're going to restaurants and just like they're not doing it for the money. They're just going and
Isn't that
playing,
fun?
and they're jamming, and people are just like, "Oh my God, this music is
That's amazing.
incredible!" Yeah,
Yeah, it's so much fun, and I've seen a lot of also chefs, like renowned chefs,
yes,
going to Los Santos just to get the food scene there.
Yeah.
It's very gastronomic.
Yeah.
We're very like popular in that area.
I think people are really kind of flocking that way, and it doesn't have as much traffic as Cabo has.
Yeah, it's still
Is it getting bad? Okay.
Well, it's still a small town, but it's growing, and it's growing to be a really like artistic scene. I can say.
And I think you can still get a decent value for a property there.
And you're very close to Cerritos area, which is like a surf town, and it gives you that vibe, and you can still chill out and be close to the capital, La Paz, or to Cabo, and you still get the fine for both worlds.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. We need to pay a lot of attention to that area. And if you would like more information about Todos Santos, please reach out to us and we can provide you with some properties that are on the market right now. So thank you for telling us about that Pacific side. So we did Pacific, then we came down to Cabo San Lucas. Now, between Cabo San Lucas and San Jose del Cabo is what we call the corridor.
Yeah.
And there's the San Jose corridor, there's Cabo Corridor, but really the corridor is the area that connects these two major towns. And the corridors couldn't be more different. The Cabo Corridor has a like an average list price around 600,000, and then the San Jose corridor, it's well over a million, you know, so there is that line where you start to get into San Jose that you start to see the more expensive neighborhoods. But on the Cabo corridor, this is the area that we mentioned earlier that has these super high priced neighborhoods that don't really put their information on the MLS. But for right now, the sold median price in the Cabo corridor for a house is about $658,000. And for a condo, it's a little bit down. It's down to about $310,000. So you can still get a relatively affordable condo on the Cabo corridor. That would not be on the ocean side. That would be on the other side of, the highway. But you can still
pretty close.
Yes, it's still pretty close. And the way that the topography is, it's kind of up a hill. So they do a great job of positioning these condos so that at least you
have a view.
Yeah, it's really cool how they do that. So
it's a landmark. Like our arch from Cabo San Lucas is a landmark. So every building you can see them facing that.
Yes, like try to look at that arch. Yeah, I think it's one of the 7 wonders of the world. I don't know. Maybe I'm making that up. I don't know. But I think it's pretty iconic. And every time I go to Costco in Cabo, I'm like sitting here in Costco parking lot and I'm looking at one of the 7 wonders of the world.
The best view in a Costco.
Yeah, it's the best Costco in Cabo that you can have. So anyway, so for houses, the sold to list ratio is about 99%. So that means that people are getting what they're asking for houses. For condos, I think the same thing is in play, where they asked a little bit too much and they're realizing they have to come down. So it is down to 86%, which means you can get a deal in the Cabo corridor on a condo. So right now, the average sales price for a condo in the Cabo corridor on the other side, not the ocean side, is about $313,000, and the average sales price for a house is $603,000, which is down about 43% from this time last year when it was $1,052,000. So I think the trend there is that prices are kind of starting to come down. They're not coming down dramatically.
No,
but they're starting to come down.
Yeah. And why do you think is that?
I think that for a while, the sellers tried to price as high as they could because for a while there, you could price your house at some astronomical, crazy price, and you would end up bidding more.
Yeah, but I also think it's because there's too many developments right now. The basement market are increasing because
Yeah.
we need to get more of these condos to sell.
Yes, I think you're right, because it takes a long time to build a condo building. A house you can build here in about a year to 14 months, but to build a condo, and that's why we're seeing like 600 days on the market.
You have the amenities,
Yeah.
and all the condos have to be ready to be delivered to the city or to their notary, so they can prepare the condo resume, have the HOA ready to be delivered to the buyer.
That's such a good point. Yeah. So that's why we see on the condos that the days on the market is usually
higher,
much higher. Yeah. So let's bump over to San Jose del Cabo, where we live. It is not a cheap place to live.
I know.
It is an expensive place to live, but it is kind of paradise at the same time.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit first about condos. San Jose condos, right now, there are a lot more condos coming on the market. I think that developers who were building condos first went to the Altazal area because they had land that was a little bit more affordable. They're running out of land in the Altazal area, so they're coming more into the San Jose area, finding land, and they're putting up condos anywhere they can find land. The sold average is about 622. However, this month I saw a giant spike in the graph, and it went up. There was a 2.8 average sold price. So something very expensive sold to push that ratio up. I didn't dig to see what it was, but something very expensive sold. Sold to list ratio for condos in Cabo is about 95.7. Last year it was 100%, a little over 100%. This year it's 95.7. So that tells me that there are existing condos and new construction condos.
Yes, and luxury development.
Yeah.
Are building condos. So
you're right, like Carencia.
Like Carencia Beach Club right there in the Cabo Surf area, and yeah, that's increasing the value of everything that it's around that.
You're right. It's not just that, but everything around it, it's pushes up that price.
And downtown also,
they're putting up so many new construction condos.
New construction. It's a place to be because everything is so beautiful and so close to each other, and you have the food scene, the music scene. Art.
The art walk is so popular. You can hardly walk around.
And now, the developers are interested.
Yeah. The days on the market, I looked over the past few years, and it was super bumpy. It was 385. Now it's down to 140. So I don't know what that I'm not really sure. The jury's out on why it was so bumpy. I don't know if it was a municipality issue, if they were delayed for a while. I think there was a strike or something.
Yeah, last year was a workers' strike.
And it was an election year this year, so it kind of made the days on the market kind of go a little wonky. But the days on the market currently is 140. And remember,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good, because it sounds terrible, but we talked in a previous video that it takes about 90 days for a property to close here for the closing process.
That's right.
So when you're looking at 90 days, and then you subtract that from the 140, so it's really less than 2 months that most condos in San Jose are staying on the market. And then for houses, it's a little bit different. For houses, the average days on the market is 254, and it was really bumpy. But I think that number is so high because I think in San Jose, houses are more popular than condos. So a lot of people are building houses in San Jose. Yeah. So it's taking a little bit longer to get to the closing table because you have to construct the home. But it isn't taking 4 years to construct the home. It's taking a year.
But they're spec homes.
Yes.
So a lot of negotiation is in place. Yeah. Change orders. You know the drill. It can take more than something that it's in pre-construction and it's standard.
Yes.
So we don't have much standard here. People like their spec homes, and they're putting money into it.
Yes.
Like there's a lot of competitor houses
A
that are
lot in
selling
Campestre.
beautifully.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot in Campestre. My neighborhood is going crazy. We have so many new construction projects, and we have condos and houses being built in Campestre too. And the same in Carencia. Carencia is one of the most popular and most luxury neighborhoods in San Jose, and they are building condos and homes, and Palmilla as well. So all of the luxury developers are seeing the benefit and the value of putting condos up. So we are seeing a really nice growth pattern in San Jose del Cabo. I think it's still, I'm going to say, is it a seller's market or a buyer's market? I'm going to say it's kind of depending on the property.
It's getting there.
It's kind of neck and neck, right?
Neck to neck. Yeah, the buyers are not rushing to buy.
Yes.
Because there's a lot going on.
There's a lot of inventory. There's a lot of new construction. They're like, let me just wait and see.
Yeah, and sellers are realizing now that they need to lower or adjust the price just a little bit to get more attention.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a snapshot about what's happening in San Jose. And if there's a specific neighborhood that you're interested in, let us know. But in previous videos, I've talked a lot. I've done a lot of hype about the East Cape. Like, oh, there's so much happening in the East Cape, and that's the place to go. You can get a deal. And I think I might have misread that. I think I saw all the signs that there was a lot happening on the East Cape, and then a lot of these big developers that were pouring dollars into the East Cape have pulled out. So can you give us a snapshot of what you're seeing on the East Cape, which just butts right up to San Jose?
Well, the statistics don't lie. Most of the situation happening there are resales. There are not many pre-construction. They're selling mostly resale. And that's what the statistics show. But there's a huge, beautiful development there in Costa Palmas that they're not showing their stats, but it's not on the MLS. But that's why there's a lot of attention towards the East Cape. It's growing. It's steady. It's a beautiful place to live, but it's still a little bit not easy to get there. It's off the grid. You still have dirt roads, no power, and you still need
you have to truck in water.
Yeah,
right?
Those circumstances are pulling, I think, developers away a little bit. And the listing price ratio right now was from $650,000 to the $800,000. But there's still, there's not much increase, but you still can get a good deal.
What is the days on the market? How long is it taking a house or a condo to sell?
And they're a little high. They're high, like 300 days on market. We show that it's still not an easy place to buy. I'm not saying it's hard, but some places the legal circumstances are not really correct, or they're having a fusion of lots, or still having to
like boundary disputes,
boundary disputes, and heed the land, things like that can increase the days of market. But still, you can get a good deal. The sold to list ratio, it went from 9% to 80%. So you can still have a pretty good decent lot size, ocean views. There's a lot of lots on sale right now in this case because people want to take advantage of that.
What kind of person do you think is most suited for the East Cape?
Well, somebody that likes nature for sure. that it doesn't matter that you are like let's say 30 to 1 hour away from the city, but a little bit upward. You have in La Ribera, as we call the East Cape, Los Barriles, which is a pretty nice little town towards the East Cape, and very very close to Costa Palmas, where they have the Four Seasons, and they're building the
like super luxury up there. Like they're doing an airstrip so people can bring their private planes.
And they have a private marina and premium lots that you won't believe. It's so beautiful up there, but you can still get there is a lot in the surrounding areas, so you know that will skyrocket anytime from now. I think that will be the place to be in 10 years.
Yeah, so maybe when I
invest right now.
Right. So maybe when I was saying, I think if you need to, and if you want to put your money somewhere, invest in the East Cape. And I just said at the beginning of this conversation, like right just before we start talking about the East Cape, I said maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was hasty. Like maybe we just need to keep waiting a little bit. So it's more of a long-term plan rather than, make money in 2 years. It's going to be make money in 8 years, make money in 10 years.
That's right.
But you're going to make a lot of money in 10 years, potentially, if you buy the right property and if everything goes according to
it was like
going.
Cabo 30 years ago. Who would have known?
Nobody would. Even Cabo 5 years ago. Like if somebody had bought a home in Cabo, in San Jose, for example, 5 years ago, they could probably almost triple the cost of it now. And nobody would have thought. But I guess one of the things that most people ask me is, should I wait or should I buy? And the way that I answer that is I look at the trends, and the trends do not show me that prices are making a steep drop. They don't. Like like you just said, the numbers don't lie, and the numbers are still, even though they bounce a little bit, but they're still
and going.
They're not going down.
No, I don't think we'll see that for the end of the year.
I don't think so either.
And we're right now in the low season, but things are moving steady. Yeah, even in low season, not as much as like 3 years ago. It was crazy. No,
but
you got compared to that. But,
yes,
but it's been a good year so far.
I think so. Yeah.
It's getting slow. Yeah, it's getting slower. Yeah. But I think it will again get that feeling that things are moving along.
The momentum will start to build probably in October and November.
That's right.
Into the year. So overall, I think, it depends on the place, but I think that buyers are getting some deals, depending on the specific scenario. But for the most part, sellers are still getting pretty close to what they're asking. Is it a good time to buy now? Yeah, I think the market's only going to continue to go upwards. It may level off a little bit, but I don't see any sign of a major drop coming anytime soon.
No, I don't think so. And right now it's steady because we have a change presidency in Mexico, and
we have a big election in the United States
as well. So I know people are still waiting, but if I may say, let's don't wait, because things will get higher in price.
Yes.
As not as the big jump that we saw like 2 years ago, but the statistics don't lie.
Right.
They will be increasing in value.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right, Denise. And I just want to thank you so much for doing this with me, because it's important. People love statistics. They want to know what's happening in the market here. It's one to watch. This is no question. This is a luxury destination. This is a luxury town. And any investment you make in our community is going to be something that's going to pay you back, even with just your lifestyle and how much you enjoy your day-to-day life. So again, I'm Kenda, and this is Denise with Finn Real Estate Group. If you have any specific questions or would like to have information about a specific neighborhood, or even would like to see some properties, please reach out to us. We'll put our contact information in the comments below. And please like and subscribe. I try to do these videos every 3 to 6 months just to give you an overview of what's happening. And we will have Denise back to talk about other things that are happening in Cabo. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging in there. And we will see you in the next one.